Alright guys, Bill here. How we doing today? Standing next to the old Jeep. I think we're gonna do a little work on it. So when I got this, the only thing that worked on it was the headlights. No turn signals, no tail lights. None of the gauges work. And so I think I need to dig into that and see where that takes us. You know, I might eventually just do a new wiring harness on this because, you know, it's a 66, so it's almost 60 years old. But for now, I want to make everything work, or make the essentials work, so I can take it down the road if I want to. You know, right now I won't take it down the road because, well, obvious reasons, no lights. I'm kind of thinking we have some ground issues, but I'm kind of thinking there might be something more than that. So let's stick around and we'll see what we can find on it. All right, so these Jeeps, there's not a lot of wiring on them, so should be able to trace it down. I mean, I just got to check the basics to see where I have power, where I don't have power, and if I don't have power, where it should be. You know, check to make sure I got a ground there. So I'll show you when you come in here, we turn the key on. Oh, that was me rubbing on the seat, by the way, just in case you thought that, hey, yeah, what's this fat boy doing? So turn the key on, and I do have my generator light and my oil light. Well, look here, I got turn signal too. Huh. Let's see if we have a turn signal in the, oh yeah, we got a turn signal in the front. Turn signal in the back. Oh, that wasn't working. All right, there we go. Well, we've got something. Okay. All right, let's figure out where's the light switch at. Is this lights right there? Let's see if we got lights. Well, there's parking lights. No tail lights. Okay. Let's see. Okay, there's no tail lights. Let's see. There's a headlight switch. All right, so we got headlights. So we got lights at the front of the Jeep. Got no tail lights. All right. Well, that's a start. And the key has to be on for the lights to work, apparently. Well, all right, so no, the key does not have to be on for the lights to work. All right, so we'll see. Let's check back here, see if we got power going back here to the lights. And heck, this might be easier than I thought. All right, we got a bunch of wiring down here that's kind of a cluster. So we'll get down here on the ground and figure it out. All right, here we are under the back of the Jeep here. we've got, it's kind of a mess. Let's see. So, got my power probe. Let's just probe some of these wires here. Let's see. So that's my tail light. I can see it coming on. So that's going to be my tail light right here. So this is, the light is working. Let's hook a test light to it. I don't think it was giving me 12 volts when there's a ground. Let's make sure we got, okay, test light's working. So we're not getting power back here. That should be lighting up. And that is this wire right here. That's going to be this, let's see, this green wire right here should be, no, that's going to be turn signals. And so this yellow right here, that should be, oh yeah, something's not right here. So let's check, see if we got anything. So I think what I'm gonna do, let's see if we got power in here. See if any of these wires have power. That one's nothing. So this one right here, that should be my tail lights right there. All right, let's get that off of there. Get that tape off of there. Sorry, I'm trying to hold the camera and do everything with one hand. So this is, I don't know why that's going across over there. And then we got this brown here. Yeah, something's crazy here, wacky here. All right, let's see if that's where our power. Or let's check this wire right here. See if we got. No. Technically, that should be, the brown should be our, yeah, this is, somebody's got this all screwed up, because we should be right, left, or left, right, whatever. And this one here should be our tail lights coming out of this harness here. So I'm thinking maybe what I need to do, see if I might have a trailer harness, like a wiring harness for a trailer, and just replace this and get rid of all this wire here, under here. Because I don't know, I think somebody has wired into it. I think that's what's happened. There's a trailer plug right here. Somebody's wired into that thing, which it doesn't even need to be on there. All right, I'll turn you off here and I'll figure out what we're going to do here. All right, guys, so I cut out all this mess in here. That's well, let me get a light. So that rat's nest that was in there, it wasn't horrible, but I just wanted to clean it all up and get it back to just, where there was just what necessary wires I had to have in here. So, and this was the grounds here, and I just left those there. I'll probably, when it's all said and done, I'll get rid of those. Just, they don't need to be there, but that's what I did for now. So I have turn signals, I have brake lights, but no tail lights. And I'm not getting any power. Let's see, right here is my harness for the tail lights. And the blue, there's a blue, a yellow, and an orange. The yellow and blue are my turn signals / brake lights. The orange is my tail lights, and there's no power here. So I'm thinking I need to pull my light switch out, because they should be coming from the light switch directly down back. So I'm wondering if there's something going on with my light switch, or something unhooked. So I'm going to pull the headlight switch out of it. I would drop the dash down, but I have to drop the windshield, I think, to do that. And I have to take the top off of it to drop the windshield, and I just don't think I want to get into all that right now. So I might eventually. Again, I don't know if I'm going to be doing a full, well, my plan right now is to do a full wiring harness on this. Let me turn this light off here. So my plan is to probably do a full wiring harness on this thing at some point. It depends how hacked up the wires are under the dash. If it's salvageable, I'll keep what I've got and just repair it. I don't like, this was all taped up on here, and I took that loose, but I'm not a fan of that kind of stuff. I know it's an old Jeep, but it is what it is. So let's take the light switch out here, and I think the light switch just, I can unplug, it looks like the knob just screws off of it. And probably take that nut off right there, and it'll probably fall out. So let's get that, see if we can get that out, and see if we can get it dropped down here far enough where we can look at it and see what we've got. So we'll do that. Alright guys, so I pulled out my light switch and my ignition switch, and there's a whole bunch of wires on the back of this ignition switch that probably doesn't need to be there. I know one of these, this one here, goes to this old radio. which that's probably going to come out. I don't know what I'll do with it. I don't even know if it works, but anyway, that's beside the point. And my headlight switch is kind of, I'm thinking that's where my problem lies. So if I okay, so I have I'll show you what I'm talking about. So this is the power coming into the headlight switch right here. This is like a little circuit breaker right here, and that's your actual switch. So you can see that I've got power there. Okay, that's power coming in. And well, let me show you that. I have a diagram here of how that's supposed to. I tried to print it out, but my printer, well, it ran out of ink. So you get to see my artistic abilities here. So that is your battery. Let's see. So your battery, that's this guy right here. Then it says auxiliary dash lights, which is kind of odd because I wouldn't think that would have power until you turned it on, but it has power too. So that's kind of strange. And so the switch is shut off now, and so none of these have power. Okay, so you pull it one notch, and that should be your park lights, which is, okay, that's one notch right there, and we have power there. Okay, that's right. And so, and I should have power because this right here is my tail lights. So I should have power there right now, and I don't. Okay, so, and the reason your park lights, your front park lights and your tail lights are on a separate circuit is when you pull your headlights on, your park lights will go out and this will remain, the tail lights will remain on. So, but if I pull my headlights, I should have power in this one and this one. I'll have power in that one, but not that one. And so that's telling me I have a bad light switch. So I need to get my light switch. Actually, I could probably test this right here, and with a jumper wire going from here to here, and my tail light should come on. And let's just do that just to double check. But there's no reason why they wouldn't come on, other than unless I had a bad wire somewhere. Okay, so just got a jumper wire here. We'll go from there to there. So my tail lights should be on. And they are. Okay. That one's a lot brighter than that one, but that's probably in the lights, but okay, that's my problem right here. But so I'm gonna get a headlight switch ordered for it. All right, guys, well, I didn't have to order a headlight switch. I was digging in my box of parts that came with the Jeep, and I found one. So we're going to get this installed. And this one here checks out. I checked it with the ohm meter, and this one's working like it's supposed to. So we'll get this installed. And going back to this here, this pin right here, I was wondering, this second one in on the circuit breaker. I was wondering what that was for. And I'm like, what in the heck is that? Because according to the diagram, which I copied right off of the Kaiser Willie's website, it's saying dash light auxiliary, which made no sense to me, but actually I found a diagram, wiring schematic for the Jeep. This is going to your brake light switch, so that makes sense. Why this one is hot all the time. So anyway, we're good there. But I'll get this changed over, and we'll see if we got our lights fixed. All right, guys. So got everything hooked back up. Let's check our lights. So everything's off right now. We got nothing. Okay. Parking lights right there. Parking lights. Tail lights. I think this one here might be hooked up backwards. So I'll have to fix that, because that looks like a brake light to me. But anyway, we have tail lights. Headlights. Headlights are on. Tail lights are on. So that's that. I can put that back together now. So yeah, we just got to put this back in the dash, and we'll call this one good. My wiper doesn't work. Wiper switch doesn't work, so we will dig into that next. All right, here we are sitting inside the car. So my wipers up here, they've done something here. So they've got them wired up, and the wire comes down right through here, and it goes through this hole right here. There's no grommet or anything on there. And I felt up inside there, and it's being pinched off by the body, the flange under there. I don't think that's the problem though, because it goes around, and this is a toggle switch, and it's going into this switch one side, and the other side is going over to right here on the accessory side of the ignition switch, and there's a fuse in line here, and the fuse isn't blown, so it's not pinched off over here. I don't know, possibly we have a bad ground up here. What I'm going to do, I'm going to take these wires, the hot wires off, and I'm going to power probe it and see, and ground it, make sure it's got a good ground, and make sure the motors work, and then we'll go from there. If they do, we'll figure out a better way to do this. Okay, so now I have my power probe, and that I can shoot 12 volts to this. We'll turn the switch on. Okay, so they work. All right, let's probe this side. We'll make sure it's on. Okay, so both motors work. So now I need to figure out a better solution for the wiring. Like I said, where it goes through here, it was kind of pinched, so I'm kind of wondering if that's where we're losing connection at. I don't think the insulation is broken. It's not grounding out because it didn't blow that fuse. Like I said, this fuse is still good right here. So either that or this switch is bad, which that's possible. Which I don't, I guess the reason for the switch is so they don't have to reach up here and turn them on when they want to use them. That would be my guess. But I'm okay with just reaching up here and turning the wipers on myself, but I think I'll take that switch out and just run my wire over to the accessory pin on the ignition switch, and we should have wipers. So I'm going to leave a fuse in here. I don't like these fuse holders. I might have a better one over there in my toolbox. I'll have to go look and see. If I do, I'll put it in here, a blade style fuse. All right, let's get this done. All right, guys, got my wipers, new wire run for my wipers. This here, where it ran through before, I'm pretty sure that's where my problem was, because you couldn't even pull that wire through there. It's pinched. So there was a hole here in the dash. I ran the wire through there, and I don't know if that's how it's supposed to be run, but that's the way I ran it. And I might change it down the road, but for now, and I ran a black wire instead of a red wire because, well, it just blends in better. It doesn't stand out as bad. But they're working, and so, and they park, they go back to park. So the other one's working the same way. So that's that part done. I haven't put my switches back up in the dash yet, just because I want to check my lights. If you remember, I had that one tail light that was brighter than the other one. Well, I hooked it up backwards when I did that, so it's right now. The new light switch is working, tail lights are working. So those are the way they should be. Turn signals are working. Okay, that's that. You know, the front's working. The right's, that's left. Right's working well. Okay. So anyway, those are all working. So I decided to check my high and low beam on my headlights. So I know the headlights would come on when you pull the switch. But they decided not to come on. Okay, well, let's see, let's hit the switch. All right, there they came on. And hit the switch again. Well, there they came on. There. That's high beam. Okay, those are only working part of the time, because I don't know if you can see the lights up there on the wall, but when I See, they went out. So let's check our dimmer switch here. This is my multimeter. Get down in here, and so that right there should be headlights on, or that's your lights coming in. It's your lights. So this will be coming in to the switch, and when you push the switch, it'll either one side will take it this direction, one side will take it that direction. You know, you got high and low beam, your headlights here. So neither one of these is working right now. And if I go hit my switch, I think I just got some bad, it's got a dirty switch, I think is what my problem is. See, there's some bad connections here. So there, that one's on. And that one's off, so when I push my button, this side should activate. And that side is activated. So, okay, so this only works part of the time. I'm going to pull the switch out and see if I can clean the contacts on it. Either that or just this Jeep came with a brand new one, a brand new switch. So I'm going to see if I can make this one work before I put the brand new one in it, and save that new one for when I gotta have it. Absolutely gotta have it. So, but let's see if we can get this one cleaned up. And I don't know, maybe it's just well, I don't think it might just be connections. But anyway, let's pull it out and look at it. All right, I've got this switch out, and I mean, it feels fine, but I'm kind of thinking, well, to start with, I have a loose wire. This wire right here is really loose, but is that really the problem? Because that's your main wire going in right there. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull the wires off of it and clean the terminals really good, and clean my screws up. Maybe put some like dielectric grease on it, and see if I can make the lights work like they're supposed to. And if I can, I'll just put it back in and wait till it dies completely. Alright guys, so I cleaned up my terminals on here. Took my Dremel and wire wheel and stuff and cleaned up the switch, and you know, it seems like it's switching just fine. I didn't pop it open because, well, I just didn't. Maybe if this doesn't work, maybe down the road I will, because I do, like I said, I do have the new one. Let's turn on the light switch. Okay, we have lights, high beam, nothing. So my switch is bad, because you can see that light's coming on, low beam. So switch again, and they went out. So I'll just replace the switch since I have it. If I didn't have the switch already, I would probably pop that one open and try to fix it or clean it up. I'm sure it's just corroded inside. There are little, I'm assuming there's little contacts in there that are just I can spray it with brake cleaner. I'm afraid brake cleaner might be a little bit harsh and might damage it. Well, it's already damaged, but if I had some electrical contact cleaner, I would spray it with that. I got a feeling it's probably kind of sealed anyway, because you know it's mounted outside the body here. So anyway, we will get the new one put on it, and we'll come back after that's done. All right, got the new switch put on it. It's pretty much, you know, has a little extra wider hole here but I don't need to use that. But these holes right here line up. So I haven't turned it on yet. Well, we'll go in there, we'll turn it on and see if it's working here. Okay, headlights are on. All right. Boom, low beam, high beam, low beam, high beam, low beam, high beam. All right, there's our headlight switch fixed, or our headlights. I don't have a, oh yeah, the high beam indicator is working on the dash. You can barely see it, but it's working. Let's see. Yeah, it's working, so. All right, I'm gonna try and get this stuck in here. I don't know if I can do it, if my arms are long enough to. So we'll see. I might have to wait until the wife gets home this afternoon to have her help me hold it out here, and so I can put the screw in from inside. But anyway, that's fixed. All right, guys, there you have it. I think that's gonna do it for this video. I got my lights working. I got my wipers working. Let's see, what else did I do? Anyway, I got most of my wiring issues taken care of. So that's one more step on this guy. So next time we're gonna get into the, I don't know what we're gonna do next time. I still have a couple of things I want to do to this. I want to put the original speedometer back in it, but I want to take it apart and repaint the needles in it and stuff, and so maybe we'll get into that next time. There's the bell crank on the steering, bell crank on it, that needs to be rebuilt. So you know, I have plans to probably change the whole steering setup on it, but that's not going to happen anytime soon. I'll have to start gathering parts for that, because it's going to be, you have to have multiple different parts to be able to do that. You know, I have to change the exhaust. I have to new tie rods, figure out a way to mount the steering box, modify the steering column, or replace the steering column, or you know, something. So anyway, that's going to be down the road, but as it is right now, it's well, we'll get into that later. It's not very fun to drive. So anyway, you guys, thanks for watching, and we're gonna call this one a wrap, and stick around for next time, and we'll see what we can get into. You guys take care.